Hi everyone, this is Selina. I hope you're well. So if you're new to my channel, my name's Selina and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm bringing to you a gorgeous boho feminine vibes bag, and it's really easy to crochet. It's really pretty. It's 100% cotton. I used 3 skeins of this yarn, which is Drops Bell, and I absolutely love the texture of this. It really gives this Coachella vibe that I love. And I used 3 skeins, but barely 3 skeins, like more like 2 whole skeins and a teeny bit of a 3rd skein. And this is a light 3 yarn, so which is a DK yarn in English terms. And I'm trying to find, this is 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen, and it has an absolutely lovely texture. I love it. I used a 4mm crochet hook as well as a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle, and that's all you will be using today. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I will be using US terms. So for this part of the project, we are going to be crocheting 2 rectangles. That will be the front and the back of the project, and I'm just going to show you how to make those. So to begin, you will be making a slip knot and then pop your hook through, tighten, and now we are simply going to chain 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've chained a smaller sample, but the principle is the same. So once you've chained 40, you are going to be counting 1, 2, 3 chains from the hook, and you will be placing a half double crochet into that 3rd chain from the hook. So to make your half double crochet, you are going to wrap your yarn around your hook and pop it through that chain. Pull your yarn through. You've got 3 loops on your hook, and take your yarn and pull through 3 loops. And into the next chain, you will be placing a half double crochet again. And so you are going to be placing half double crochets all along this chain. So just go ahead and place your half double crochets until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you how to do row 2. So I finished row 1, and obviously yours will be larger, but this is my first row. And now for row 2, we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, turn our work, and this counts as our first half double crochet with this first stitch here. So we're going to go into the 2nd stitch directly and place a half double crochet into that. And you are going to go into the next stitch and place a half double crochet into that and into the next. So this pattern is really easy because it will be basically just placing half double crochets all along the row, and we will be repeating row 2 throughout. So you will be repeating this row throughout. So I've almost finished this row, and I just wanted to show you the end of the row where you mustn't forget to place a half double crochet into the chain 2 from the beginning. So just place your half double crochet into that. This is what it looks like, but it will straighten out as we go along. So for row 3, you are going to repeat row 2 once again. 1, 2. This counts as a half double crochet, and just go into the 2nd stitch and into the next stitch. So just repeat row 2 throughout until you reach 20 rows in total. So just go ahead and do this, and obviously you will be needing 2 sides, 2 panels, so just repeat this process twice, and then I'll meet you back to show you how to do the flap. So now that we have the 2 panels, I'm just going to show you how to make the top flap. I'm going to be making a slip knot. Pop your hook through and tighten. And now you are simply going to be chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and slip stitch to close a ring. So to create a ring, just slip stitch through the first chain that we made, and now we are simply going to be working within this circle. So chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and you are going to be, and this counts as our first double crochet, and now we are simply going to be working 6 more double crochets within this circle. So just go ahead and place 6 double crochets into this circle like so. So I have 4, 5 and 6. So this is the first row of this project. So now for row 2, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and we are simply going to be placing another double crochet into that first stitch. So this was the first double crochet, well, it's a chain 3, but this counts as our first double crochet, and it obviously goes with this first stitch. And what we are going to be doing is placing another double crochet into this first stitch, so it creates 2 double crochets in one single stitch. So there we go, and we are simply going to be placing 2 double crochets in each double crochet until the end of this row. So just go ahead and place 2 double crochets together inside each stitch until the end of this row. And we are going to be placing 2 double crochets too in the chain 3 of the previous row. So now that we've seen that chain 3, we are going to be placing 2 double crochets inside that chain 3. So there we go. And this creates our second row. So you see, it's really easy. So now for row 3, we are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3. Turn your work, and we are going to be placing 2 second double crochet in this first stitch like we did previously. So place 2 double crochets in that. In the second stitch, we are simply going to be placing just 1 double crochet into that. Into the next stitch, we are going to be placing 2 double crochets. And in the next stitch, 1 double crochet. And in the next stitch, 2 double crochets. And in the next stitch, 1 double crochet, and we are simply going to be alternating 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet until the end of this row, and then I'll show you how to finish off this row. So I've almost finished this round. I've just placed 2 double crochets together and I have 1 stitch left at the end of this row, and because I've just placed 2 double crochets together in the previous row, I'm just going to finish off with 1 double crochet. There we go. And this is our 3rd row. So now for row 4, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and this counts as your double crochet, a double crochet. What we are going to be doing is placing another double crochet in the first stitch as always. And now what we are going to be doing in the next stitch is place 1 double crochet on its own, and then in the next stitch 1 double crochet on its own, and in the next stitch 2 double crochets together. So you see this pattern is slowly unfolding. So this row, so we've placed 2 double crochets together, and now in the 2 next stitches we're just going to place 1 double crochet on its own each time, and then in the next stitch 2 double crochets together. So you see it's a very easy pattern. You are simply going to be placing 2 double crochets together, 1 double crochet on its own, another double crochet on its own, and then in the next stitch 2 double crochets together, 1 and 2, and then in the next stitch 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch 1 double crochet. So it's very simple. I'll just let you carry on until the end of this row. So I've almost finished this row. I've got 1 stitch left, and that's a double crochet on its own inside that chain 3 from the previous row, and this is how it looks. So I finished on 1 double crochet on its own. So that's what row 3 looks like. So now for no, not row 3, row 1, 2, 3, 4, row 4. Sorry. So 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and this is the beginning of row 5, and this also counts as our first double crochet. We are going to be placing another double crochet inside that first stitch, and now we're just going to place 1 double crochet on its own in the next stitch, 1 double crochet on its own in the next stitch, 1 double crochet on its own in the next stitch. So you see we've now got 3 double crochets on their own, and we are going to be placing 2 double crochets together in the next stitch. So really what this pattern is the exact same as last row, except you are going to be placing 3 double crochets on their own before placing 2 double crochets together, 3 double crochets on their own, 2 double crochets together, and this is how it's going to be row after row. So the point of this pattern is that at each time you add another row, you are going to be adding another double crochet on its own. So for this row we've got 3 double crochets on their own before placing 2 double crochets together. So this means in the next row you will have 4 double crochets on their own before placing 2 double crochets together, and in the row after that you will have 5 double crochets on their own before placing 2 double crochets together, and this is what creates this half circle that will grow and grow and grow. So I hope this tutorial is clear. Don't forget to download the free pattern for the exact details of all this, but it's really an easy pattern. It's really not difficult. So just carry on with that principle. So every time you add a row, you are simply going to be adding a double crochet on its own within the row. So I hope this is clear. So we have done this pattern until we have 8 rows in total. So here are my 8 rows, and now that I have 8 rows in total, I'm just going to show you how to make the frilly edging, which will be row 9. So for the frilly edging, you are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3, and you will be, and this counts as a double crochet, and you will be placing 2 more double crochets within this same first stitch, so that would equal to 3 double crochets total. So here we go. Into the next stitch, we are going to be placing 3 double crochets together. So 1, 2 and 3, and into the next stitch the same thing. So just go ahead and repeat this process of 3 double crochets together in each stitch until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you what to do. And don't forget that at the end of the row you will have the chain 3 from the previous row, and this counts as a stitch. So I'm just going to let you carry on, and then I'll show you the next row. So I've done the first row of these double crochets, and this gives this frilly border. So now for row 2, I'm just going to zoom in, it's row 2 of the border, so I think it would be row 10 for the whole flap. So now for the next row we are going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and this counts as our first double crochet with this first stitch, and we're going to go into the second stitch directly and place a double crochet into that, and then into the next stitch a double crochet, and into the next stitch, and just go ahead and place a double crochet into each and every stitch until you reach the end of the row, and I'll get back to you. So I finished this row, like you can see, and what I am going to be doing is fastening off, and I am going to be leaving a long tail for sewing onto the project. And I'm just gonna slip stitch this through, and this is the flap done, ready to sew onto the bag. So I'm just going to flip it over there, and now the last part of the project is going to be to make the strap. Sorry about that. So to make the strap, it's going to be really easy. Just make a slip knot, and you are going to be chaining 202. 1, 2, 3. So I've crocheted 202 chains, and now what I am going to do is exactly the same as when I did my half double crochet pattern. Count 1, 2, 3 chains from the hook and place a half double crochet into that chain. So just go ahead and place a half double crochet into that chain, and just place a half double crochet into each chain across until you reach the end of the row, where you will be fastening off, and then I will be showing you how to assemble your bag. So I'm just going to let you carry this on, and then I'll meet you back to assemble the bag. So I finished my strap, and I'm going to show you now how to sew this project together. So you are simply going to place both of these panels on top of each other, and you are simply going to be sewing this in. So I'm showing you here. You're just going to sew this seam in, and I'm just gonna start on this corner right here, and I am simply going to be using the mattress stitch. So I've just zoomed in. So for the mattress stitch, you're simply just gonna go in one side and then just go in the other side, if that makes any sense. And you're just gonna go around the two panels, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've gone all around the bag, and now I'm just going to turn it inside out, just because it will look neater on this side. And you will be tidying up all your loose ends. I'm just going to leave my loose ends inside this bag because I'm going to line it with material. I will be linking that video actually in the down bar about how to line a crochet bag. And now what we are going to be doing is sewing this on top. So basically what we are again, I will be just don't forget to tighten this part. Sorry, this is all a bit mumble jumble, but yes, so we are going to be sewing this flap onto the back. So I'm just going to try and show you on camera. So this is the part where we will be sewing the flap on, the back panel. So choose which will be the back and the front panel. And I left a long tail for sewing. So I'm just going to sew this in a bit because obviously of how it's going to get sewed onto the bag. So just make sure you place it symmetrically. So I'm just going to place it like that. So the border will be sticking out a bit, if that makes any sense. And now I'm just going to flip it like that and start sewing it onto the back panel. So I hope you can see on camera. So this is nothing fancy. You can help, I'm just going to do it like this, but you can help yourself by securing the back panel and the flap with a safety pin if you want, if that makes any sense, if that will be easier. And I'm just going to sew this in all the way along, and make sure you kind of reassess how symmetrical it is as you sew the flap into the back panel, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to sew in the strap. So I finished sewing the flap onto the bag, and it looks really pretty. I love it. Again, I'm going to place all the loose ends inside the bag, and I will be lining it. So I'm not going to bother sewing them in, but you can sew them in if that's what you want. And now I'm just going to place my strap inside the bag. So what I am going to do, obviously on the inside, and you are simply going to place your strap. So I'm going to show you at least like a few centimeters inside the bag, if that makes any sense. So just flip it like that. I'm going to place it maybe a few centimeters inside the bag on the side. I'm going to try and zoom in like so. So there we go, we can see better. And I'm just going to sew this in as neatly as I can. Yeah, and I'm going to go in and out quite a few times because again, this is your strap and you want it to to be secure, if that makes any sense, because obviously I'm gonna assume you are going to be putting things inside your bag, and obviously you want your straps to be nicely secured. So I'm just gonna sew the strap in like this. I'm going to go all the way around and then probably fasten off at some point, and just do the same thing on the other side, and make sure that you've not twisted your strap before you sew in the other side, and just sew in the other side the same way that I've just showed you. And yeah, and that's the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, I will be linking my video on how to line a crochet bag. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.